for the first time, we are excited to introduce the Liberty Mutual Safety Innovation Award in Construction. And, even with all the progress in construction safety and health and the commitment of people like you and thousands of others across the country, our industry still has much room to improve the prevention of illness, injuries, and fatalities. So our 3 panelists, out of 10 excellent submissions, have prepared entertaining, informative presentations about their innovations that they will share with us in a few moments. These will be very brief presentations, and we hope that we'll have time for a little bit of Q&A after each one. But most importantly, at the end of tomorrow's session, the winner will be announced. So I hope that everybody stays tuned to hear that. So let me now introduce Mike Mills. He is the Technical Director of Construction and Energy with Liberty Mutual, and he'll give a little bit of background on the award.
Thank you, Rick. Mike. Thanks, Rick.
Yeah.
Liberty Mutual is committed to supporting research and innovation in safety, and our support includes technology developments into things such as wearables, exoskeletons, and risk assessment. The Liberty Mutual Safety Innovation Award in Construction was created in a really neat partnership with CPWR to showcase and reward recent innovations in research and technology within the construction industry. We share their commitment to improve worker health and safety. CPWR has handled much of the administration while Liberty Mutual has funded the award. And thank you, Rick and Chris and the CPWR for working with us to create this award. The winner of the award will receive $15,000, and each honorable mention will receive $5,000, and all will receive trophies. A panel of 7 judges scored and ranked the submitted innovations, and 3 finalists were selected. We are pleased to now have each finalist provide a presentation followed by an opportunity for the presenters to respond to questions. The presentations have been selected in random order, and our first presentation will be by Sean Beatty, co-founder of Suck a Bucket. On behalf of CPWR and Liberty Mutual, please give a big congratulations and welcome to Sean.
Having us. I'm Sean Beatty, and with me is Bob Scarborough, and we're with Suck a Bucket, and we're excited to present to you guys today, and thank you for the opportunity. So Bob and I met a few years ago while we were both working for a large general contractor in the Seattle area. At the time, Bob was working as an environmental health and safety manager, and I was working as a field engineer. And we used to joke around about one day developing a product that we could bring to market for the construction community.
So the question is posed here, what is the Suck a Bucket and why was it created? Well, what happened is we had workers that were mixing silica-based compounds and being inundated with silica. So we would put them in Tyvek and respirators and then even delineate the areas if necessary to be able to protect them from the airborne silica. Well, we do know that OSHA was going to be more stringent in the standards, and the company that we work for wanted us to be able to be ahead of the curve, and we wanted to be able to protect our workers. We know that when we protect our workers, it protects them from injury, it protects them from silicosis. It actually lowers claims, which is a cost savings for the company, but most of all, it protects those frontline workers. OSHA standard went down to 50 milligrams or micrograms per cubic meter over an 8-hour period for the permissible exposure limit, and our action level was going to go down to 25 micrograms. And those of you that have ever done any of the industrial hygienist, studies will understand that as a very, very small amount. We had to figure something out. Well, we had workers that were mixing these things, and there was just no available products that would give them the protections other than the PPE. So we wanted an engineering constraint. I looked and searched, and I couldn't find anything on the market, and so I was pondering it on this product that we would get and that we could use. And then I envisioned this thing, and I did a crude drawing, and that's when I called Sean.
So in the fall of 2017, Bob approached me with this initial sketch saying that he had a great idea for a product that would help protect our workers and also keep our job sites cleaner. Because I have some experience doing 3D modeling and 3D printing, I created some quick 3D models that we were able to 3D print and test those prototypes. Through that testing process, we ultimately refined those prototypes and worked in conjunction with an injection mold manufacturer to ensure that these would be mass produced. So through that process, we came up with our final design and ultimately started producing these products in Everett, Washington. And it should be said that the efficacy of the sucker bucket is really dependent upon using a good shop vacuum that's got a HEPA filtered bag as well as filter in it, because that ensures that none of these contaminants that are being removed from the environment get re-released. So we'd like to show just a quick video that demonstrates mixing concrete with and without sucker bucket. So this was an early 3D printed prototype. As you can see, it's pretty brightly colored. We had a filament that was multicolored at the time, and that's why it's a kind of a funky color. And this early prototype was very effective. And then the later prototype you're going to see here is our final version. And here we have a quick side-by-side comparison. The left is obviously without the sucker bucket, and then the right is with. And virtually no dust gets released when we're using the product. Obviously, we're pouring in these scenarios, but it's the same when we're mixing as well.
We got excellent results. Before we ever went to full production, we did testing with our, with this one right here. This is our first release prototype. We did exhaustive testing with an industrial hygienist and came back with excellent results. We then sent a production model to the state of Washington, to Jeff Spann, who's their industrial hygienist, and he said that he was able to, in most cases, get it into the teens for the action level, and was fantastic in being able to protect the workers. In addition to that, we sent recently NIOSH one, and they're going to be doing exhaustive testing on it too. And we know and are excited to be able to get back their results, because we know they're going to be excellent also. But we have proven that this device will work for cleaning filters, cleaning cartridges, cleaning anything at the opening of sucker bucket while it's attached correctly with the, as he said, the vacuum and the filter. And then workers can be able to do that without even having to wear a respirator because of the action level not even being broached.
We've been primarily focused on selling these locally currently as we get the business started, but we've gotten great feedback from some of the subcontractors in the local Seattle market who have been using the product. And as Bob mentioned, they're not just using it for mixing cementitious products, but we have electrical contractors who are using it to clean their filters. So they'll shake their air filters off in the bucket, allow the large contents to settle to the bottom while the fine dust gets removed. And they're finding it to be very effective in keeping their workplace clean. Some people are using it just as a trash can when they're dumping dusty materials and throwing it away to prevent that plume of fine dust from being released into the environment. So it's a very simple product that anybody can use, and we're finding more and more uses for it as we get more and more exposure in the marketplace. So that's the overview of Sucker Bucket, and we thank you again for having us. So we're really excited to be here. Obviously, I'm Sean, this is Bob, and we also have a picture of our injection mold partner who's in Everett, Washington. So thank you all, and if there's any questions, we'd be happy to answer them.
Great. Thank you, Sean and Bob. That was really interesting. We have time for, I think, just one quick question. And the question is, what is the retail price on this product? And I guess a follow-on that I had is, where could you buy it?
So we've currently been selling them at suckerbucket.com for $100 a piece, shipped, and that's with free shipping. really anywhere in the world. We are hoping to bring that price point down as we get more and more volume coming through the door. But currently it's $100 shipped to your door.
And our patent is still pending here in the United States. So we're still working on our getting published or a full patent.
Yep, well, we've started that process. We're a couple years into the patent process. Long story short, but we are getting close to getting that finalized.
Thank you.
Good. Fantastic. Well, thanks again, guys. And I think now we're going to move over to one of our next finalists. And I'd like to introduce Dave Francis. He's the National Safety Director with Little Giant Ladder Systems. And he's going to describe their Industrial King Combo ladder. So on behalf of CPWR and Liberty Mutual, a big congratulations and welcome, Dave.
Thank you. One of the leading causes of accident and injury in the workplace has been falls, and that's been that way for decades. In order to change that, we decided that instead of just putting more stickers on the ladder like the ladder industry has for the last few decades, we would actually see how people use ladders and then design the ladder around how they're actually using them to get in those tight spots and do it safely. So we designed the A-frame ladder to lean, which is different than what it's done forever. We've chased people off of the ladders in that position. Now it's designed to do that. And we've added some other features to it to allow it to be used in all of those hard to get situations. So we have a video we'll go to, and then we'll do some question and answer. So if we want to go ahead and just hit that video.
The king of ladders. He does it all. A-frame, leaning, extension. Crowned with a rotating wall pad to conquer any terrain. For corners, walls, and studs. So light, it's easier to lift than a sword and a stone. All hail the king.
For as long as step ladders have been around, people have been using them in the closed position, leaned against the wall. The problem is ordinary step ladders aren't designed to be used in that position because it's easy for the ladder to slide out, leading to serious injuries. For years, ladder safety experts have taught in their classes that leaning a step ladder against a wall was against the rules. Some companies even had it written into their safety policy. The King Combo is a 3-in-1 multi-position ladder. It easily converts from the stepladder position into extension and leaning configurations. The King Combo can be used safely in the leaning position because of the innovation feet and locking back legs. The back legs of the ladder lock closed, preventing the back feet from making contact with the ground and causing the ladder to tip, shift, or slide. The crowning gem of the King Combo is its rotating wall pad. Now you can safely set up your ladder on inside and outside corners, walls, and even studs. Non-slip pads have been added to help keep the ladder stable and in position. The feet have been redesigned with either a curve to maximize surface contact or a swivel foot, similar to that of an extension ladder. Marketed toward the pro craftsman, such as electricians and framers, the King Combo can help them work safely on any job that requires extra height at residential or industrial construction sites. The King Combo has already won awards such as 2019 Pro Tool Innovation Award from Pro Tool Reviews, OH&S 2019 New Product of the Year, Best Product of the Show Award at the American Society of Safety Professionals Safety Summit. The Little Giant King Combo is the pinnacle of ladder technology, offering a variety of beneficial features that make your ladder more versatile and safer than ever before.
I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down.
Some of the features that you might have missed on that. The ladder can be leaned against the wall. If you're going to a corner, you're going to be able to flip it around and go into an inside corner, outside corner, or onto a stud so the top of the ladder isn't going to move. Back legs are locked in place. In the open position, those back legs will go through the studs on a wall. In an extension ladder, that'll flip up and give you a 10-foot extension ladder with a big standing surface, so you have the comfort and the support on your feet. And then at the bottom, just a really quick, we call the ground cue. All of our bottom steps have a visual, tactile, audible clicking noise that trains the user to know when they're at the bottom of their ladder so they don't step off early and have those knee, leg, or back accidents. So the King Combo is kind of looked at how people use a ladder in real life and then modified the old design so that we can actually make a ladder to get people home safe at the end of the day. So any questions?
You answered one of the questions that I had related to what that orange bar was on the first tread. And that it's interesting. You mentioned that it's so you can tell when you're on the bottom step. One of the questions that came in is, does this ladder come in more than one size?
It does. We make it in a 4-foot, 5-foot, 6-foot, which is this. That 6-foot will open to a 10-foot extension ladder, and then the 7 and 8, the 8-foot will go from an 8-foot A-frame to a 14-foot extension ladder. What happens with most people is they take a ladder, it's not big enough, so they end up standing up here on the top step or the top cap where they're not supposed to be. With this, they can just flip it up into that extension position and get that extra height that they need. So we're trying to anticipate all of those work situations.
Okay. Another question was, how much do the ladders weigh? And then just the last question will be similar to the previously, how much does this cost?
So weight, Little Giant has a proprietary fiberglass material that's 20% lighter than anybody else on the market. Right now, a 10-foot extension ladder weighs around 30 pounds. The cost is around $200 depending on where you're buying it from. So there's retail outlets that carry King Combo that sell a homeowner version, because we do have a lot of homeowner accidents. And then we make a more industrial version that's a little more money that's sold at your business-to-business, like a Grainger or a Fastenal.
Great. All right. Well, thank you. We really appreciate it. That was really great.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yep. All right. So our final presentation is going to be by Zach Parnell. He is president of Industrial Training International, or ITI, and he's going to describe their VR construction hazard awareness application. So again, on behalf of CPWR, Liberty Mutual, a big congratulations and welcome to Zach.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much, Rick. Appreciate it. Really happy to be here, and thank you to Liberty Mutual and CPWR for putting this on. I'd comment that, Dave, that ladder is awesome. We got the green part correct in this trench box, but we might have to swap it out for your unit there. So I know what I'll be asking for Father's Day. But anyhow, I'm happy to be here. I'm thrilled to be here. There's dozens of people behind this project, and I feel pretty humbled to be able to present for that group. But in general, I want to share with you what we've recently built and a lot of the companies and partners involved. I'll start with a little bit about ITI and then get into the construction hazard exam and certification. So ITI is, we've been doing industrial skills training since the 80s and deliver that, all sorts of training through hands-on simulation, or hands-on training simulations, online learning, et cetera. And we're not just in the construction field. We are privileged to be able to work in DOD, DOE, shipyards, refineries, energy, et cetera, which I think is really neat because it allows us to bring a lot of innovation, almost picking and working with thought leaders across industries to bring solid innovation to everybody. So how we got here, the construction hazard ID assessment is basically a practical assessment over 10 risk domains. So you can see them here. It's the very common high risk and very common incident categories like hand tools, lifting and rigging, lockout, tagout, et cetera. And what the initial problem we were trying to solve was with a few construction companies. They were putting on various, actually Bechtel, for example, I'm going to show a photo of them. They were putting on an 8-hour construction hazard training module, hands-on training, and they wanted the ability to basically assess, conduct a practical assessment of everybody at once. They're putting 50 to 100 people a day through these sort of modules. So I'm going to get into that, but just to give you a little bit of idea how we built this, we actually initially built it on the Oculus Go headset, but we're now deploying it to the Oculus Quest. And it was built in partnership with the organizations you're seeing down below, and even your very own Mike Mills contributed to the development. It's just been fascinating to see the collaboration across the industry. We have this big Teams channel where about 30 SMEs are contributing to the design, which occurred between basically September and December, and we started pilots in January. So basically, the exam can be completed in about 15 to 30 minutes. It can also be done on a computer, but obviously the virtual reality experience is 10x better. It really is about validating workforce competency in regards to hazard awareness. Our next step is going to be basically pursuing an ANSI accreditation for the exam, the ANSI 17024 standard, so that it's a certified exam. And a lot of the early participants have been encouraged that they see this as ability to reduce redundant training, which would save them time and money, but additionally, incredibly improve just learning delivery. I think we're all aware that virtual reality at this point has an incredible opportunity to really make learning fun again, and learning, especially in job trailers, learning is pretty hard to make really enjoyable. So it's just an engaging way that we're finding a lot of our early adopters are excited about building out their virtual reality hardware inventory and delivering more learning in that fashion. And obviously, what we're excited about doing next is really tracking if and how we can improve really safety performance. So we'll get into some of these points and show you the application, but just really want to give a shout out to the industry participants that helped us build this. There's several big constructors involved, including Bechtel, DPR, GLY, and Kiewit. And then we had, I mentioned Michael Mills with Liberty Mutual. We've always found Liberty Mutual very eager to contribute and dive in where there's collaborative opportunities and bring their subject matter experts like Mike to the table to help us out. So we've always appreciated that. United Rentals, Jim Barnes, former OSHA director at OSHA. And what these people did is they basically collaborated with our design and development team. So, you know, on one side we got a bunch of construction experts, on the other side we have a bunch of game developers and 3D artists. So it was a blast building it. And a couple, well, Jonathan Parnell, actually my brother, he's a West Point grad civil engineer, led the development. Apparently he offered me into this presentation, so you get me today instead of him, but he really led that team, and we have about 10 folks on our team that helped develop this recently. So we were able to do pilots at about 5 locations starting in January, and those pilots are still ongoing. Let's see, I'm going to show you a few photos of that. This is a fantastic photo of Bechtel's Hazard School. This is at Plant Vogel in Georgia, the nuclear construction project. What's really neat for Bechtel, they put about 50 to 100 people through this really big training center. It's basically a modular training center, and it's sort of like a trade show where every 8x8 or 10x10 area is a different hazard that they're getting about 45 minutes of training on. And again, they wanted a way to basically provide a practical exam. So you have some people sitting down, some people standing up and taking that exam. Here's another just shot of the DPR, one of the DPR job sites, and the Kiewit project up in Michigan. Just to give you a quick demo of the application, basically the user, puts on a headset and goes through an initial orientation. This is the orientation. They're being explained to basically place hazard markers over issues as they see them. So we're showing them a blatant oil spill here of sorts, and they have to place a hazard over the top. Once they do that in this orientation, it's encouraging them, saying, great job, you spotted the hazard. And after the orientation, the user is basically deployed out into the job site. And they have in every area, they have only 5 tags to give out, so they can't just go blatantly tag everything if they don't know what they're looking at. In this case, there's an opportunity for a dropped object, and I believe the scaffolding is tagged correctly. But what's really neat about in virtual reality, obviously you can toggle on or toggle off various hazards in the same environment. So, it's like A/B testing. In session A here, we could have the worker on top, right over the top of the worker on the bottom. In another exam for a different user, we could have this person on top way over on the other side where there might not be a dropped object issue. So we'll fly through some of these photos that you can see, and basically the user teleports, so that's why it's really valuable. They can sit down to take the exam. How do you do practical exams for 100 people at a time? Virtually, you have to, it's typically common that you let them sit down, but you got to design for that. So our team designed so that the user can basically teleport around the job site. And, this job site is over, Jonathan will have to tell me, but I believe it's for example, like a 5 to 10 acre job site. So very large, and it has mobile equipment environments. It's got trench and trench safety. Let's see here. Yeah, silicas was a big requirement. And in some cases, for example, there's the correct remediations in here for silica. In other situations, there's not. So the user has to identify when that is and when it's not. Here's just other shots of the job site, open manholes and welding going on, and lifting and rigging activities. Person basically touching or under the load there. And basically, this is all building up to a final output, a score. Again, the participants like Bechtel, they wanted the ability to know if somebody had comprehended everything and they're going to be a safe worker on site. So, I think I'm missing a couple slides here. So the only thing I wanted to mention as well, the next steps are the ANSI accreditation projects. We're basically encouraging the initial technical committee to join us on our program advisory board, which is a part of the ANSI process. And then we're going to be reaching out to a lot of partners in the industry, including folks like National Safety Council, CPWR, a lot of associations and building trade groups, and basically get more pilots going, but additionally work with that group to basically build the ANSI accreditation. So the objective, which we've heard loud and clear from a lot of the early adopters, is it'd be really nice to have people coming on my job site having a 3-year construction hazard awareness certification, but obviously we can now build dozens of training modules that are maybe a little bit longer form on top of the exam, or that lead to the exam. So again, CPWR and Liberty Mutual, thank you very much for letting me present, and this has been a blast to build, and we look forward to working with you all in the future as we continue the project.
Great. Thank you so much, Zach.
Can you hear and see me okay?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. So this is a really exciting time right now, this part of the meeting. We're going to talk about the Liberty Mutual Award, and the winner is going to be announced. So yesterday we heard the presentations from 3 outstanding innovations. We've held you in suspense until today, and we're only a few minutes away from announcing the winner of the first Liberty Mutual Safety Innovation Award in Construction. And remember not to drop off the call as soon as the award is announced. We have more details about next year's award and how to submit your innovation, and I'm going to do a closing after the award is announced. So now to provide some details about this year's award on the judging process is George Brogmus, I'm sorry, I just killed your name, Technical Director of Science and Technology with Liberty Mutual. George?
I did get unmuted. Okay, great. Thank you. So thank you, Chris. You know, Liberty Mutual has maintained its reputation as a leader in safety by supporting research, technology development, and information dissemination in occupational, fleet, and liability exposures. This year, Liberty Mutual marked its 20th year of producing the Liberty Mutual Safety Index, which many consider the go-to national benchmark for the causes that drive the cost of disabling workplace injuries. Last year, we actually started providing a breakdown by industry, and construction, as is no surprise, led the total cost for that. And this year's Workplace Safety Index, the 2020 Workplace Safety Index, which is going to be publicly released next Wednesday, the 17th, actually includes an analysis by body part, which we haven't done before. So that'll be a new addition. And Liberty Mutual continues to support a broad array of R&D through consortiums and direct funding of research and technology projects. We also continue to sponsor conferences and awards in occupational safety in a number of industries. The Liberty Mutual Safety Innovation Award in Construction is brand new and was created in partnership with the CPWR to, as Mike Mills mentioned yesterday, to showcase and reward recent innovations in research and technology in the construction industry. And because of their experience with supporting research, including moving research to practice, the CPWR has really been the perfect partner to help create this new award. So thank you to the CPWR for working with us to create this award. As mentioned yesterday, again, in addition to some pretty cool trophies to our 3 finalists, the winner will receive $15,000 cash prize, and each honorable mention will receive $5,000. And when circumstances permit, we'll also arrange an in-person presentation to the winner. Of course, that's only the beginning. We plan on presenting this award every year, and after we announce the winner in a few moments, CPWR will provide some details on submitting innovations for consideration for next year's 2021 Liberty Mutual Safety Innovation Award in Construction. But before we announce the winner, before I turn it over to our VP and General Manager of Risk Control Services, let me tell you a little bit about the judging, so everyone has an idea about that. Judging of the awards, we had 7 highly esteemed judges. Rick Reinhardt, Deputy Director of CPWR, Bruce Lippy, Director of Safety Research for CPWR, Mike Mills, Technical Director of Construction and Energy with Liberty Mutual, Andrew Salvadori, Vice President, Health, Safety, and Environmental with Hinkles and McCoy, Travis Parsons, Associate Director, Occupational Safety and Health, Labor Safety and Health Fund of North America, and Scott Ernest, Associate Director for Construction, Office of Construction Safety and Health with NIOSH, and me. I'm the Technical Director of Science and Technology with Liberty Mutual. So on behalf of CPWR and Liberty Mutual, a very sincere thank you to these judges for their time and attention to this award. Each judge independently scored and ranked the innovations submitted, and the judges followed a weighted rubric that included the heaviest weighting was on the novelty of the innovation, demonstration of safety impact in one of several ways, applicability to small contractors, return on investment expected, impact on work organization, viability to bring the innovation to market, and some kind of testimonial endorsement. Each judge disclosed any conflict of interest they had, and they did not judge that innovation, but were imputed a ranking for that innovation so that the judging and ranking remained fair, and each judge could still contribute judging of those other innovations. The rankings were then combined, and after a call with all the judges to make sure we were agreeing and all the scoring was done properly, the top ranked innovations were selected as finalists, with the highest ranked innovations selected as the winner. It turned out that our two honorable mention innovations were exactly tied for second. So congratulations to all three of our finalists for introducing us to these innovations and contributing to the quest to help workers live safer lives. So enough on that. With us to announce the honorable mentions, and the winner is the Vice President and General Manager of Liberty Mutual's Risk Control Services, Jamie Marandino. Welcome, Jamie.
George, thank you. Thanks very much, and thanks very much everyone for being on the line today. And also wanted to, as George mentioned, extend my sincere thanks as well to the CPWR for partnering with us in creation of this award and announcing it, last year at the conference, and being part of the process as we've gone forward here. So we've come to the big moment, and I'm going to do this in a reverse order. Before I do that, let me just say one thing, and George alluded to it, but I just wanted to say that each of these finalists have really developed some great innovations that are going to help people, as our motto says within Liberty Mutual, live safer, more secure lives. And that's the idea, to the greater good of the industry at large, as well as bringing forth the next new innovations from these. So just want to say overall, congratulations to all three of the finalists. So I'm pleased now to award the first honorable mention, and that goes to Jonathan Parnell, Director of Product Development for ITI, for their VR construction hazard awareness application. So congratulations, Jonathan. And we'll be sending you a trophy and a check and plaques for the innovation team members as well. So way to go with your innovation. And now for the second honorable mention, the other honorable mention, and that goes to Sean Beatty, co-founder of Suck a Bucket. We'll also be sending you a trophy, a check, and plaques for your innovation team members as well. So congratulations to you and your team. And then that means that the winner of the first Liberty Mutual Innovation Award in Construction goes to Dave Francis, the National Safety Director, Little Giant Ladder Systems, for the King Combo Ladder. And we'll be sending you your trophy, check, and a team member plaque. And when it's possible, as George had mentioned, we'll arrange for an in-person presentation event. So you saw there, people were clapping for all three of the winners here, and I as well give you my virtual high five. And congratulations to everybody. So before moving on here, Dave, would you like to make any comments? The floor is yours if you'd like to.
Thank you so much. It's a real honor to be in association with your groups. Our goal for the company has always been to reduce injuries and save lives and get people home at the end of the day. And what we feel like we're doing is not selling ladders, but changing the ladder industry by designing, we're not making grandpa's ladder anymore. We're building newer, safer pieces of climbing equipment that are going to get people home at the end of the day. So we've got a lot of excitement and energy behind changing an industry that has been a leading cause of accident for a long time. So thank you for the recognition.
Well, thank you, and thank you for those words. It's you really mentioned something important there. Is people going home safe at the end of the day and being ready for the next day, and that's why we do what we do. I think, isn't it? Is the whole idea of the safer, more secure lives. Whatever words you might use around it, we're all in it for the same reason, for sure. So thank you to all three organizations for your submissions and participation throughout the year, and for terrific presentations yesterday. I really enjoyed those. Now, as mentioned before, stay on the line for a few minutes. I think Chris Kane has a few words to say around next year's awards. So Chris, when you're ready, go ahead and take it away.
All right, thank you, Jamie and George and Mike and all the judges. But I did want to call out Rick Reinhardt, CPWR's Deputy Director, who really shepherded this through for us and has been working real hard with the team at Liberty Mutual to implement our first award. And now I'm going to talk about next year's. We're going to open up submissions for next year's award in the fall, and any innovation submitted must not have been available prior to January 1st, 2020. And for a complete list of rules and an application for the submission, see CPWR's website. Yesterday's innovation presentations will be available for viewing on CPWR's website soon. And so please add the link to your websites and share it with your respective folks, and we will be shouting it when we open up the next round of awards, when folks will be able to submit, because we were really pleased with the first year, and we expect we'll get even more applicants next year, and hopefully it will grow over time. And we appreciate everybody's partnering through the Norris Sector Council and through our union and employer and government partners who helped spread the word on this and make our first go at this successful. So that really, well, also congratulations all three of you, but Little Giant especially. I was really impressed by that ladder. I wasn't a judge, so it was the first time I saw it with everybody else yesterday. So I like that suck bucket too. I'm a silica, I'm into the silica thing, so I appreciate everybody. But let me go ahead and close our meeting.